This lipstick not only represents a $500 billion a year industry, it also represents a recession indicator, the so called lipstick index. Business Week has just put out its beauty issue. And for the issue, I wrote an article about the lipstick index, looking into the lipstick index. So, the lipstick index was first identified by beauty CEO Leonard Lauder. And what he noticed as he was running Estee Lauder was that during economic downturns, makeup sales tended to rise. Now, there was a lot of speculation as to why this was. Some people thought maybe women were gussing up a little to find a man, or maybe to get a job or to get a promotion. This was the prevailing wisdom for years. Back in 2020, economist Yasmin Dildar and her colleague decided to look into this. What they did was they looked at women's beauty purchases and saw if the amount they were spending on beauty seemed to correspond with whether or not they were married and whether or not they had a job. And what they found was there wasn't actually a correlation. Single women were not spending more than married women on makeup, a little less in fact, and women without jobs were not spending more than women with jobs on makeup. What they did find was a correlation between spending more on beauty products and spending less on other more expensive items like clothing or jewelry. So, what the lipstick effect seems to be capturing is substitution. So, instead of spending on clothing or jewelry or travel or something more expensive, when times get tight during economic downturns, women will often trade those bigger purchases for something more affordable like a lipstick. Another interesting trend that emerged in the research is that younger consumers are spending a lot more on makeup than older consumers. Teenagers and women, and to some extent men in their very early 20s, are actually outspending women in their later 20s, 30s, 40s on makeup and beauty procedures. There's a lot of speculation as to why this is, but many people think it is social media, the rise of influencing, the rise of us looking at our faces on screens all the time, and seeing every wrinkle and crow's feet and strange things your hair does. Right now, the lipstick indicator seems to be flashing red because while consumer spending seems to be dropping a little bit right now, according to Deloitte, spending on makeup is holding steady. It's continuing to rise. The lipstick index flashing red. Does this mean that we are in a recession now or about to go into a recession? It definitely does not. What it does indicate, though, is that consumers are scaling back spending on bigger purchases. And instead, when they want to treat themselves or feel a little better about life, instead of booking a trip or buying an expensive piece of clothing or jewelry, they're spending just a little something on lipstick.